Hello everyone. As you know, we are studying the topic deviations from Mendelism. In this heading, I have already taught about incomplete dominance in the case of snapdragon and 4 o'clock plant. Now we will study some other phenomena, and all these pattern of inheritance like codominance, multiple alleles, pleiotropy and polygenic inheritance. All these pattern of inheritance are also deviated from the Mendelian pattern of the inheritance. It means all these inheritance like incomplete, codominance, multiple alleles, polygenic inheritance, these inheritance were not given by Mendel. So let us start the first one, that is the second one, codominance. What do you mean by codominance? I have written here codominance. The codominance is a type of inheritance, or you can say it is a type of phenomena in which both the alleles expresses themselves independently when present together in an organism. It means when the two alleles are present, for example, suppose I told you about the capital R and small r, for example. And if these two alleles are there of a character, that is for the color, the capital R is responsible for red color, the small is responsible for white color. In the complete dominance, it will appear how? Red. In complete dominance, which was given by Mendel, in complete dominance, it will be red because red is dominant over the white. In incomplete dominance, which is the deviation from the Mendel, it will be pink. As you know, both the alleles here, the red and white means the dominant and recessive one, both the alleles, they produce an intermediate character in incomplete dominance, and that will be the pink. But in codominance, the red and white, both the characteristics appear simultaneously on same part of the plant. That will, the 50% part will be the 50% flower, it will be the red, and remaining 50% it will be white. Means here in the codominance, both the alleles, they express themselves in the same part of the plant or in the animal body. Here there is no dominant, there is no recessive, but dominant and recessive both expresses themselves independently to each other. Let us see the example of codominance like ABO blood group of the human being, or simply you can say the blood group of the human being. Actually, the blood group of the human being is a very good example of complete dominance, complete dominance, codominance and multiple allelism. But here, let me to first explain that how the ABO blood group of the human being and other primates is the example of codominance. As you know, the different blood groups of the human being, these are blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB and blood group O. And the different types of the blood group depends upon the kinds of the antigens present in the individual's body. In a person, if the antigen is A type, he is said to be the blood group of A. Antigen means some of the, you can say the sugar polymer, they are present on the surface of, on the plasma membrane of the RBC. And in the RBC of the plasma membrane, suppose this is the RBC, and here a special type of antigen or sugar is present. It is A type. In blood group A, the type of sugar, it will be A type. If anybody has blood group B, then what kind of antigen is there in his body? B type of antigen. If anyone is from blood group AB, it means both the antigens A and B, both they are present on the surface of RBCs on the plasma membrane, means both the sugars A and B both will be present. And blood group O will not have any type of antigens A or B, means the sugars are completely absent on the RBCs, and that blood group will have O type. You can see here parent first, parent second, genotype of the offspring and blood group. This table has been given in your NCERT book. If a parent is of blood group A, actually the whole blood group of the human being is controlled by a particular gene, and this is called I. And it has different types of the alleles, IA, I, B and small I. If the individuals have IA and IA, these two alleles, the blood group will be A. If the individual will have IA and small I, and small I does not have any type of antigen on the surface of RBC, means the small I is the recessive allele and small I is not responsible for any type of antigen. Here, if the genotype is IA and small I, as IA is dominant over the small I, so the blood group will be A. In a person having both the alleles IB and IB, the blood group will be B type. And if the individual will have the blood group IB and small I, it will also be blood group, because the small I is recessive and the capital B, capital I and B, this is the dominant. And the blood group having IA and IB, here what is the blood group? This is very important regarding the codominance. You can see if the individual will have the genotype like this IA and IB, the individual will have both the antigens A and B both. Means here both the alleles IA and IB, both the alleles expresses their character in the same individual, and here both the antigens are going to be produced, and that's why it's a very good example of, you can say, codominance. Here IA is responsible for the production of A antigen and IB is responsible for the B antigen. And if any individual will have the small II, as I told you, the small II if both the recessive small I is to be there, the antigens are absent and the blood group will be of O type. Here the IA and IA, it is because of the contribution of parent 1 and parent 2. Suppose parent 1 is father and this is the mother. The father contributes IA, the mother contributes IA. So the offspring will have IA. Here also IA from one parent, from father, and suppose the mother contributes a small I, definitely the child will have this type of the genotype and the blood group will be A type. If the father and mother both, they are contributing the B alleles, definitely the genotype will be like this and the blood group will be the B type. So overall, here this one is very important. The blood group AB. If any child or any individual is of blood group AB type, means both the antigens, both the sugar are present on the surface of RBCs A and B both, and both the sugar or both the antigens, they are going to be produced by the genes, or you can say the alleles A and B. So it's a very good example of codominance. Now the next one is the multiple alleles. What do you mean by multiple alleles? I have written here, when more than 2 alleles of a gene occupies the same locus in a population, this phenomena is called multiple alleles. As per Mendel, a single character is controlled by a pair of alleles. Means each gene has how many alternatives? 2, and one is dominant and one is recessive. In heterozygous form or in the homozygous form, it will be identical. Homozygous. So as per Mendel, a single character is controlled by how many alleles? 2 alleles. But as per multiple alleles, a single trait, a single character is controlled by more than 2 alleles, and this is called multiple alleles, or you can say multiple allelism. You can see here the blood group, the human blood group, ABO blood group is also a very good example of multiple allelism, or you can say multiple alleles. The multiple alleles is applicable not for the individual, it is applicable for whole population. For example, the human population. As you know, in the human population, there is a character and that is called blood group, the human blood group. But to determine the blood group, so many alleles they are required, and all these alleles overall what they are doing, they are determining a single character, single trait, and that is blood group. Since the human is diploid in nature, so as per individual body is concerned, only 2 alleles are there in the individual body. But when we talk about the whole population on the same locus, locus is the point on the chromosome where alleles are located. When we talk about the whole population on the same locus, so many alleles they are located in the population, and overall all these alleles they are controlling, or they are going to control a single trait, a single character, and that is blood group. You can see here the example. Overall, how many types of the blood groups are there? Blood group A type, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O. The total 4 types of person, they are found the blood group A type, blood group B type, AB type and O type. But you see how many types of alleles they are present in the human population to determine the particular trait, particular character, that is blood group. This is the genotype IAA, one type, IA small I, the second one, IB, the third type of alleles, IB and small I, fourth, fifth and sixth. Means total you can see here, to determine the blood group of the human being, total 6 alleles they are required. It means as per Mendel, a single trait, a single character is controlled by how many alleles? 2 alleles. But in multiple alleles, in the blood group, you can see here that the blood group is going to be determined more than 2 alleles, and here total 6 alleles are required to determine the blood group of the human being. So this is a good example of multiple alleles, or you can say multiple allelism. Once again, multiple allelism or multiple alleles is the pattern of inheritance, is the phenomena in which a single trait or a single character is determined by more than 2 alleles, and this multiple alleles or multiple allelism is applicable in the whole population, not for the individual one, because the human body is diploid in nature. So in the individual body only 2 alleles are there, but when we talk about the whole population, the same trait is controlled by so many alleles, and all these alleles, they are located on the same locus in the human population, and locus is the point on the chromosome where genes are located. Now, so the human blood group, once again, it's very important question regarding the blood group of the human being. The blood group of the human being is the best example, is a very good example of complete dominance, codominance and multiple allelism. Sometimes there is a question that justify this statement. Here what you can see, suppose a human blood group IA and small, this type of the genotype, if the heterozygous form is to be there, it's a very good example of complete dominance. The blood group, if the individual will have the genotype like this, capital I, A and small I on one chromosome, this is the same locus, IA and small I is present, the blood group will be A type, because the capital A is dominant over the small I. Actually, small I is mainly responsible for blood group O, and this small I do not produce any type of antigen. But why it is A type? Because the capital A is dominant over the small I. So the blood group will have the A type. Here also the capital B is dominant over the small I. Blood group will be the B type. So in both of the cases, both are the examples of the blood group A and blood group B. When they are present in the heterozygous form, both are the examples of complete dominance. And if anybody has A and B, such type of genotype on one chromosome, IA and on this homologous chromosome IB, what will be the blood group? AB blood group. It means A and B, no one is here dominant, no one is here recessive, and A and B both they express themselves independently. A will produce antigen A, B will produce antigen B. So the blood group AB is a very good example of codominance. And how you can say that the blood group is also an example of multiple allelism? Because the blood group is determined by more than 2 alleles. Here 6 alleles are required to determine the human blood group, and that's why it's a very good example of multiple alleles also. Now the next heading is pleiotropy. P-L-E-I-O-T-R-O-P-Y. What is pleiotropy? Pleiotropy, single gene controls many characters. The pleiotropy is also deviated from Mendelian pattern of inheritance. As per Mendel, as Mendel told that a single gene controls a single character, but in pleiotropy you can see here a single gene may controls more than one character also. Means a single gene may have, a single gene or a single gene product may have more than one phenotypic expression. Means a single gene controls so many characters, and this is called pleiotropy. For example, phenylketonuria. The first one, phenylketonuria. Actually, phenylketonuria we will study in this chapter later on about the disease of the phenylketonuria. Phenylketonuria is a type of disease which is caused due to the single gene mutation, and due to the change in the gene, a particular enzyme is there that is called phenylalanine hydroxylase, and this enzyme is not synthesized, and because of the lack of phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme, the phenylalanine, which is a kind of amino acid, is not converted into the tyrosine normally, or you can say generally. What happens? The phenylalanine is a type of amino acid which is converted into the tyrosine in the presence of enzyme that is called phenylalanine hydroxylase, and because of the mutation the enzyme is not synthesized, and hence the phenylalanine is not converted into the tyrosine, and phenylalanine gets accumulated, and the accumulation of phenylalanine is the cause of this disease that is called phenylketonuria. Here in a very simple way I can say that phenylketonuria is a kind of disease in which too much phenylalanine, which is a type of amino acid, gets accumulated into the patient body. What are the symptoms? The symptoms are hair and skin pigmentation. If a person is suffering from phenylketonuria, having too much phenylalanine in his or her body, then it causes hair and skin pigmentation. So many pigments, or you can say spots, where the melanin is disappeared. The spots may be seen on the bodies, on the skin, and this is called hair and skin pigmentation. And the second one, the person is also suffering from the mental illnesses, or you can say there is the mental retardation. So because of the change in a single gene, here a single gene is controlling so many characteristics, hair and skin pigmentation, the first one, and that particular gene is also responsible for mental retardation. So a single gene is controlling more than one character, and this is called pleiotropy. The second one, you can take the example of garden pea. In garden pea, a single gene controls the synthesis of starch, the size of the grains, and the shape of the seed also. Here I have written the gene capital B and small b. The capital B, when both the capital BB genes are to be there, both the alleles, when they are present in the homozygous form, the size of the seed is round and the grains, large starch, the grains or the size of the starch is also large. It means this gene, the capital BB, is not only controlling the shape of the seed, that is round seed, even it also controls the size of the grain. If the genes, it is present in the heterozygous form, in heterozygous form also, it controls, you can see here, the shape of the seed and the grain size. In this form, the shape of the seed will be round and the size of the starch grain will be intermediate. And when it is in the small bb form, in the recessive form, the size of the grain will be wrinkled, it will be wrinkled seed, and the starch grain will be very small in size. It means in all the three conditions, in all the three, you can say the genotypic for each genotype controls more than one character, and it is also a very good example of pleiotropy. Now the next topic is, after the pleiotropy, that is polygenic inheritance. There is a term, one more division is there, and that is called polygenic inheritance. What do you mean by polygenic inheritance? Here, one character is controlled by many genes. Example, skin color of human. Actually, polygenic inheritance is just opposite of the pleiotropy. In pleiotropy, a single gene controls many characters. But here, in polygenic inheritance, a single character is controlled by many genes. One gene, many characters in pleiotropy. And one character is controlled by many genes, and this is called polygenic inheritance. And the example of polygenic inheritance is skin color of the human being. Here, the skin color of the human being is controlled by more than single gene. Here, three genes, they are controlling our skin color, and these are A, suppose B, and C. If all the, here three genes are there, A, B, and C. If such type of genotypes, all the three genes A, B, C, they are present, in the individual body, it will be the dark color, and if the genotype is like this, it will be the white color. And if you will cross a person having the dark color skin is going to be married with the person having the white color of the skin, what kind of the gamete will be formed here? Capital A, capital B, capital C, and here is small a, small b, small c. And what kind of the offspring they will produce? They will have like this type of genotype, intermediate character, or you can say mulattoes. Means they will be neither very dark nor it will be very white. The offspring will be have the intermediate character. And you know, the human skin color depends upon the percentage or the quantity of melanin pigment. Our skin color is due to the presence of a pigment, and that is called melanin. If the amount of melanin is too much or more, the skin color will be very dark. And if the amount of melanin will be very less, the body's person will be white. The individual will be very fair in color. And if the melanin is present, neither very too much or not very low, optimum level is to be there, their color will be mulattoes, or you can say intermediate between the dark and fair. And you can see here the too much melanin production takes place, or the too much melanin production is because of the presence of the dominant genes. Here total 3 genes are there, A, B and C, and all these 3 genes, they are in the dominant form. And because of the all the 3 dominant genes, they will produce more melanin pigment into the individual dark. And if all the 3 genes, they are present in the recessive form, no melanin production, there will be no melanin production, and the color will be white. Why? Anyone is very white, or you can say very fair, because the melanin is very less or melanin is absent. And if a person having the dark color is going to marry with the person with the white color, their offspring, their son, either daughter, will have the intermediate color. They are called mulattoes, because suppose this is the father, this one is the mother. The father contributes the sperm containing all the 3 genes A, B, C, and the mother contributes the egg having small a, b and c, and such type of zygote will be produced. And here, because of only 3 dominant alleles, not they are present in the homozygous form, they are intermediate, and the color will also be intermediate in between both of the parents. So polygenic inheritance is a pattern of inheritance, is the phenomena in which a single trait, a single character is controlled by more than 2 genes. It may be 2 or 3 or 4, means so many genes, they control a particular trait, a particular character. Not only the human skin color is the example of polygenic inheritance, even the height of the human being is also a very good example of polygenic inheritance. The human height, you can see some of the individuals, they are very tall, some they are dwarf, some they are intermediate in shape, height, and the height of the individual is also controlled by more than one, or you can say more than two, even 2, 3 or many genes, they control our height. So that's all for today. Today I taught you about codominance, multiple allelism, pleiotropy, polygenic inheritance, all these pattern of inheritance or the deviations from the Mendelian pattern of the inheritance. So that's all for today. Tomorrow I will teach you the next topic. Thanks.